clothes as friends, and they're either armor or comfort blankets. And so dependent on, and within that, they're also uniforms. Mum picking up from school compared to chilling out with friends, compared to going to a special awards ceremony. Straight away, we can see, different things that we might wear. I have a thing about proportions and textures and feel and fit on my own body. So it probably made me kind of ultra hyper focused, because I very early on knew that I didn't want to wear something that maybe it was in the magazine and it looked good, but I didn't like it on my own body. I was never going to wear it just because somebody had said, this is what they're all wearing.
Yeah.
And so I guess I got to know my own body, my own shape, the things that literally when I put something on, then I forget it. I don't check it. I don't think about it. I love pockets. I love practicality. So, I have items of clothing that I've had for 30 years or thereabouts.
Yeah.
And because I was lucky enough back at the time, I could go to designer sample sales and get really good quality fabrics. I still fit those things. They still work. And I'm a stylist, so I adapt them. So that tends to be my attitude. Interesting, you mentioned my head wraps. They came about because when you're working on a TV show, you're invariably outside. We'd start really early. We'd maybe have to get a train up to the other end of the country, begin work. Then who knows, come back. I mean, the BBC wasn't big budgets, let me tell you. What we did have was a makeup artist, which was very lovely, because you can be standing in front of a camera and not know that actually you're shining or somebody needs. But the makeup artist also did hair. And when I first started, I mean, I think I'd previously had no hair, but it had started to grow back and I had very short hair, but I had sort of hats and earrings. It was the 80s. And the sound department would go, oh, you can't wear those, too much noise. You can't wear a hat, you can't have a cool looking brim because there's a shadow on your eyes. And so what I wanted to avoid was the makeup artist combing my hair every 5 minutes, because the wind will blow it and more hairspray in your face. So I just thought, let me tie it back. Let me just tie it back. And then, of course, I realized that you're just a face. So let me put some fabric round it to make it look, more TV visual. And so that kind of became a very easy and sort of a lovely way to deal with my hair and to just be able to get on with the business of presenting. What later happened was when I took them out again. I've had loads of fabric around my hair, just simply because tying it down, just get on with the work. I started to grow a grey streak through just here.
Yeah.
And it's something that you've mentioned before, but that you'd noticed that I'd said that in my mid-30s, I was told that I was looking very old, and that they didn't say they were going to sack me. They said they were going to wind me down unless I dyed out my grey streak. So I had brown hair, but then I had this natural white grey streak. And I didn't want to do that. But this is interesting. This is to my point about the way that women are objectified. I had very obviously created a sort of more intellectual approach looking at fashion.
Yeah.
I brought Fashion Target's breast cancer over to the UK. I was personally dealing with Ralph Lauren's team. We'd created a campaign of which I was co-chair, and I've only just stepped away, where we were raising millions to educate around what had previously been a very taboo subject, talking about breast awareness. And understanding that, that was much better presenting a lump and early intervention than feeling embarrassed about it and then it becomes something worse. But that didn't count for anything. At 34, I looked too old. So it wasn't about my intellectual and moral content. It was about my appearance. And so what I did was I went to a hairdresser and I said, okay, I want to keep this white streak, but let's dye the rest of my dark hair darker and richer. So it was sort of a bit maroony,
Yeah.
a bit, not bright colors like they are now. And then, funnily enough, at the same time, Jerry from the Spice Girls was starting to wear this blonde streak. And almost overnight, people were kind of, I suddenly, my hair became pop-tastic because Jerry was dyeing it. They thought I was dyeing mine. So that was one way round it. But the first time I got told mutton dressed as lamb was when I was 28. So,
That's
you know,
fantastic.
these value judgments are on women all the time.